Happy Monday. This is officially the introduction to John Templeton Co. YouTube channel. Now this is exciting because I've wanted to launch this for a long time, and I want this channel to really be a representation of authenticity and transparency, which is not an issue I've necessarily ever dealt with in business and or in life, but I want to take it to another level. I want to take it deeper. The purpose of this channel, let me start with that, is to give you the inside scoop, a deeper look into what it takes to really succeed, to push beyond adversities. And Lord knows I've dealt with my fair share, even at the tender age of 27. If you know me, you'll know a whole bunch about these challenges that I've faced in business and in my personal life with health challenges, but also actually run some projects. And so that's going to be the first video that I'm doing for you, this particular video. When you see this, the month will have ended. But what I'm doing this month is I'm showcasing exactly what it takes from a startup position to create $10,000 worth of revenue at the end of the month. Now, I'm not going to say that this is recurring revenue at this point, but what I will say is that it's $10,000 cold hard cash, baby. And how I do that is, of course, what I'm going to show you throughout the video. I'm going to do timestamps. I'm going to take you through it, right? So this is the first time I'm doing the vlogging style of content. I want it to be really authentic. So at the end of this video, you're essentially going to know a lot more about me. And I'm going to talk to you more about the principle behind what it is that I do, less about the technical elements of it. Yes, business is business, and we need to run it strategically and tactically if we want to make a sum of money such as $10,000 in 1 month, right? Because what we need is authority and we need credibility, and that doesn't just come out of thin air, right? So we need to almost manufacture that if from a startup position you want to hit a number like $10,000 in 1 month. I'm going to show you how to do that. I'm going to help you develop the infrastructure. I'm going to take my business, which is, yes, pre-existing, but I'm going to almost relaunch it so as to kind of create the startup position for myself again, to simulate that for you. I'm going to revisit the marketing SOPs. I'm going to revisit the sales strategy. I'm going to revisit absolutely everything because I want to show you, and more importantly, I want to challenge myself. Okay? You know, in my years in business, I've achieved some pretty awesome results. I think the biggest week I've ever done, the biggest turnover in a cluster of sales is $42,000, right? I received that in 1 week. That is without a doubt an exhilarating feeling. The problem I had with that is that it wasn't recurring. It wasn't consistent. Now, once again, if you know me, yes, I can make money, especially if I'm motivated. And to what end, we're not going to get into that, okay? But I can also spend money, and that's a problem, right? There's more issues and more challenges for me to deal with in that, as there is for every other entrepreneur, businessman, and woman, right? How you develop and how you mature in business and how you reinvest that and allocate that in your life to whichever sort of end, that's entirely up to you. I'm going to show you how to make 10,000, not how to spend it, not how to reinvest it, not how to purpose it, right? I just want this to be entertaining, action-based video. That is our plan of action for 2026. It's action, right? Our plan of attack for 2026 is attack. Isn't that so fucking simple, right? And excuse me, I do love to swear and I do love to get really straight up with my content. So this is also going to be me showcasing that. I want to show you guys the intimate. I want to show you the good, the bad, and the ugly. So let's get it. Clap in advance. That's our acronym, baby. LADO, living as the outcome. We're going to hit this 10K this month. I can't wait to share that with you. And following this, I want to see you hit 10K in 1 month, whether you're in business or you're in life, you're launching and or scaling. I want to see you hit it, but not only that, I want to see you hit it consistently. All right. So at the end of 2026, you know, to hit 100K, right, we have to average on about 8.5K per month. Easy work. I'm going to show you how to reverse engineer that. I'm going to show you how to hit that number and make it simple, right? And into flow state, which is defined as movement without thought. I'm going to shut the fuck up because I don't shut up when I start talking about philosophy. I need to shut up. Oh my God. Okay, bye. All right, so this is essentially the first section where I'm going to start putting everything together. Now, once again, I'm going to be sharing not just this here. I work from home. This is my little home office. But also the gym, the training style, and the lifestyle, and just how everything kind of works together to create success. Because one thing I firmly believe, I mean, it's not really a matter of belief, it's a matter of fact. How you do one thing is how you do all things. If you're organized in one area of your life, you're going to find that that organization tends to follow in all areas of your life. So if you can really live to a high performance with your training and or your business and or your relationships, you know, it's going to be everything, right? So I'm going to start talking about some pillars first and foremost. Now, the number one thing that we want to have on lock is, of course, our values. Now, the reason why that's important is because there is no success without you. There is no success in a relationship without you. There is no success in a business without you. Now, you are comprised of many things. This brain here that we have is so incredibly complex, blessing and a curse, right? The subjective and the objective side of it is, of course, very complicated. Now, the only way that we can channel that towards success, and we're going to define success right now as a fulfilling life, a life that brings you happiness and joy. I mean, that's the only currency we're really looking for, isn't it? Right? Ultimately, that's behind the money, monetary success. That's behind everything, right? We want that. How we achieve that, of course, is in a way that you'd like to. Okay, so number one is going to be your values. So I'm going to talk about that because, of course, that is where we're going to start the snowball effect. Once we get those values in line. Now, what are those values to you? A lot of people, I can't speak to your values. You know, it might be money that you value, and you just want money because you want the more sort of premium experiences in life. Maybe you want that Lamborghini, or maybe you want that travel, work from your laptop, have financial abundance, have, you know, utopia, call it, where your assets pay your salary and you don't have to think or work about that, right? So maybe that's you. Maybe you love family. Maybe you want to have 5 kids. Who the fuck knows, right? What are your values? Because we need to start acting in alignment with those values. That value, of course, leads to a particular outcome, and we want to start living as that outcome now. Why do we want to do that, right? Because if we move as if we are in chase of something or pursuit of something, essentially what you're implying is that you don't have it. Now that creates a little challenge, right? Often one that you won't see for 5, 6, 10 years. A lot of people won't see them for the entire fucking lifespan, right? If you are operating as if you don't have it, you are essentially in resistance of it, okay? Facts. This is not about the law of attraction. This is about vibrating with something so that you feel it, you can see it. The reticular activating system in our mind will start to pick it up, right? The fact about it is that it's always been there. You just didn't see it. Perhaps you were more focused on paying your rent. Perhaps you were more focused on that car. Perhaps you were more focused on relationship issues. And so you didn't see all these things that you're actually wanting. What we want to do now is align ourselves with that. We want to be deeply honed in on it, and we want to allow a burning desire that we're now developing to start attracting that. Of course, we're going to meet this law of attraction with this beautiful law of action, and that's how we're going to make it flourish and blossom. That's how we nurture it, right? But it's an incredibly important thing to understand. These concepts are the pillars, the foundation of which your success is going to grow on. So you may as well quit now. If you want to focus purely on that dollar sign, if you want to focus purely on, you know, a great month and what you can do with that money and the blah, 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 it's like you've missed the fucking point, right? Right here, we're talking about sustainability, and we're talking about living a life values aligned so that, you know, you've heard the saying, money doesn't buy happiness. I mean, of course it does, whatever, but it doesn't if you really think about it as well. Sorry, side note, you'll notice that I contradict myself in a lot of ways, as is business and as is life. It's contextual and it's circumstantial. So in this case, yes, money does not buy happiness. We want to live values aligned so that we can be fulfilled, right? And we can utilize that money, that success in your business to create an even more fulfilling life. You can give back, right? Because giving back is ultimately how we receive. How can you receive if your hand is closed, right? What we want to do is we want to give. whether that be to family, whether that be to friends, whether that be to communities. But you can't give if you don't have anything, number one. And of course, once we're giving, now we can receive, whether that be money, fulfillment, right? Satisfaction, love, right? All of these beautiful words. So that's going to be number one. That's pillar number one. And now as we start to slowly transition into business, we want to think purpose, right? We have personal philosophy and then we have professional philosophy. What we want to understand is that personal philosophy, those values, and then the professional philosophy operates within that system, okay? We need to, yes, become a different person when we're operating in the business, because ultimately if you don't sell, you don't have a business. Simple, right? Simple. We need to sell, which means that we need to back ourselves. We need to put that sales hat on. We need to get really creative. We are by no means manipulating, but yes, we are communicating to a certain end. We want to sell. We need that cash flow to sustain the business, to keep it alive. As I say, a business is like a baby, right? And cash flow is like the tit, right? We need to feed that business in order for it to grow, in order for it to stay alive. That's the most simple sort of metaphor I can think of, right? It's beautifully relevant if you really think about it. So the next thing, once again, is going to be that professional philosophy, the purpose, the impact that we want to leave. Now, let me give you a quick example. What impact do I want to leave? Okay, I want to help people as much as I possibly can in their business. I've had the privilege of sitting in front of large amounts of people and speaking and delivering that value. And when I see that value hit, and when I see their life change in the course of 1 or 2 hours of me speaking, I can't express it to you enough that that is just the most overjoyed I've been, for a large portion of my life. Working with someone and then seeing them go from a startup position to turning over large amounts of money, or seeing them overcome lots of personal adversities going in their life, because I've done that, so I'm qualified to talk on that. It's just amazing. So that is the base of it. How do we extrapolate on that? How do we make this real? Is that, okay, I want to do that, but I want to do it to many people, all right? I don't want to limit my life and my passion to 100 people. Why can't I grow that number and actually impact 100,000 people or 1 million people? Indirectly, I want to hit 50 million people. Who the fuck knows? There's no limit on it. There's no number on it. I want to impact as many people as possible, right? So that is my impact. I want to help them launch their business. I want to help them live a financially free life. I want to help them be able to navigate adversities, whether it be spiritual, mental, financial, social, right? I want to help them be better. I want to help them elevate. It all sounds vague, doesn't it? But it's really not, because I can create a package that can help me do that. Now, what is your professional philosophy? To what end are you putting this work in, right? Because if we chase the dollar sign, you're going to find that it runs, right? Just like a leopard, right? When it starts chasing, what does the deer fucking do? The deer runs, right? But if it's, I'm gonna quit with that story, with that analogy. But basically what we want to do is we want to accept it, acknowledge it, that it's always been there, and simply receive it. Allow yourself to go out and get it, right? Because allowance is, of course, the master key. Allowance is gratitude. Gratitude is the gateway to abundance. Now you can actually see it, you can take it, you can enjoy it, you can embrace it. And from that point there, you just find that everything starts happening for you and stops happening to you. You're no longer victim to scarcity, right? Now you're a victim to abundance, right? We've simply just changed the lens, right? Scarcity, abundance, right? We've just changed that lens, and now we can take it because it's right there. So number one, I'm going to talk to you about values. Number two, professional philosophy and the purpose, the impact that you want to leave, right? This is stuff for you now to start writing the fuck down, okay? Because these are the building blocks, the foundational layers of the success that you're going to build in this month. And I'm going to revisit it now as well, because as I said, I'm going to show you and take you through this entire process from A to B to C to D, all the way to Z. All right, simple. So I'm going to leave it here. I'm going to do some work, but I'm going to share it with you so you'll see cool little things popping up all the way, sort of just referencing what I'm saying. And it's going to be absolutely powerful. So let's get it. All right, guys, so welcome to day 2. This is powerful. Now, we've made a pivot already. instead of posting this video at the end of the month, I'm going to post daily videos. So this is going to be the first video that you see. Today is the 3rd of February 2026, and I've got some good news, right? We've already made a $1,000 sale, so you're going to see that over here. Now this is my Stripe account, and it's got dates. This sale is from the 1st of Feb, so that's already 1K down. We've got 9K to go. And the point I'm going to touch on each day is an important pillar, yes, but also going to show you how and what it is exactly that I'm doing to create this momentum and to get sales across the line, because that's essentially the purpose of business, is it not, right? If you're not making sales, there is no business. So today, number one, I'm actually going to give you 2 points, right? Firstly, this is Matt, and this is going to play to an important role of point number 2, which is environment and partnerships. Now, alone you can go fast, and I had to learn this the hard way because I'm not stubborn, no, but I love to be in my own mind with my own thoughts and ideas. The problem with that is that it's limited, right? Genius leaves clues. Now, if you can leverage other people's expertise, time, skills, specialty, it's going to add so much time and value to your journey, all right? So that's powerful. Now, I brought Matt along today. Obviously, we mutually benefit each other in his business. You can chat on that for a second. But he's a lot more technically advanced than I am. So when it comes to creating videos, yes, but also digital content, like adding value and adding authority by means of credibility and by means of just raising the bar and the standard of how it is I promote my content, how it is I promote my business. Because people are like goldfish. They have a very short attention span. So when you're marketing yourself, you want it to look good and you want it to really relay the message that you're looking to send, because only then will you be in a position to sell. So point number 2, which I'm delivering now on this 3rd day of the month, is environment. You need to set your environment up for success, and you need to ask yourself the question, are you enjoying the process, right? If you're stressed from day one, if you're unclear and you have more sort of negative elements of this process, it's going to be really hard to sustain this process. You need to ask yourself, am I having fun? Does this business bring me value? Does giving people transformation actually make me happy and fulfill me? Remember, I spoke about fulfillment. That is the ultimate goal that we're looking to achieve. So number 2 is environment. How do we do that? Organize yourself, organize your environment, get people on board that actually have some value and mean something to you, right? That's pretty simple, wouldn't you agree? If you've got people around you that are too busy distracting you and pulling you back into old habits, it's going to be really hard to get some momentum flowing here. You need to do a bit of a life audit, I call it, right? So even if it's family, right? If it's family that pull you back, if it's family that don't believe in you, you need to get away from that shit. I'm not talking about cutting them off. I'm talking about putting yourself in an environment that's going to facilitate flow state, that's going to facilitate a positive and enriched environment for you to be your best self. And when it comes to partnerships, it's like, yes, be mindful, be resourceful. Who can help you? This can be people on YouTube, right? Today we have unlimited resource when it comes to the online world with AI, with YouTube videos of people that have done the same thing, just like this right now. I'm creating a YouTube video for you to see. Put yourself in and around this positive and abundant vibration, and you're going to notice that trickles into how you operate throughout the day. Now, the point that I want to touch on aside from today is more technical. This is the second point, okay? It's about niching down. The reason why people can't achieve $10,000 in 1 month is because they try to sell to everyone. The foundational point that I want to touch on here is that your offer, your message and your promise needs to be able to resonate with a certain type of person. Only then are they going to feel understood. Only then are they going to have trust in you. We want to break down these 3 barriers: like, know, and trust. Now, if they trust in you, only then will they be willing to do business with you and actually transfer some money over to you. So this is a powerful point. How we do that, of course, is by niching down your offer. I want you to understand the industry. I want you to do R&D. I want you to understand your competition. I want you to understand the past, present, and future of this particular industry. really equip yourself with competence, because as we know, competence translates into confidence. From that point there, energy never lies. Have you ever been around someone who just simply knows who they are and what they're doing, and they feel almost like a bit of a bonfire, right? You can just feel the energy pulsating off them. It's aura, right? I want you to be that particular person. When people talk to you or they're in and around you, you walk into a room, do you demand respect? Does your energy demand respect, right? Because if this is the case, people are far more likely to listen to you and take you seriously and actually understand that maybe you're here, they're here, and they need you to help them get to this particular level in their business or with your product or your service, your presence, whatever it may be. So we want to understand this person, this industry, this group very clearly, and that's who we're going to sell to. This is who we're going to build our message around, because we want them to understand that. So point number 2, and I'm going to show you some of the things that we're working on now and give you some questions so that you can answer that for yourself. Do you want to give an introduction?
Sure. What's up? Matt. I'm Matt Dodds. John's helping me kickstart a few things and get my mindset right, which has not been currently. So yeah, a long way to go, but making small baby steps, and it's a good start for me. So
and this is the
appreciate
mutual partnership, right?
There's a mutual partnership. Yeah, exactly.
You scratch my back, I scratch yours.
Funny thing about my back, no.
What's the funny thing?
So yeah. Alright, come on.
That was fucking hilarious. I love that. He's a funny guy, you know.
He's not.
I call him a mushroom.
Whenever you ever call me that, though.
Because you're a fun guy.
Oh, right.
So the point I'm trying to make is that obviously we're having a good time, right? We're listening to some fucking music, we're having a great time, we're doing some work, and it's moving the needle, it's moving everything towards this one outcome, which is, look, am I being productive? And is this action taking me closer towards the goal? I want you to ask yourself that question. Whenever you're doing something, you have this particular goal in mind, I want you to be mindful of, is this moving me closer towards the outcome? It's fairly simple, right? It's either a yes or a no, and your intuition is going to be able to give you that answer straight away. If it's not adding value to your life, if it's not charging you back, I want you to stop that shit. If it is, then absolutely, let's push it, let's go for it, and let's stay structured, tactical, and effective. Alright guys, I'm going to show you some stuff, let's get it. So this was the first video, and I look forward to throwing out the second video, which I'm going to do tomorrow. And keep in mind, we've hit one target, we've hit $1,000. We have 9 to go, and I'm going to show you the in-depth operations, setting KPI, actually utilizing the knowledge that we've created today, like the niching down and the starting to build the infrastructure of the business. So looking forward to that. Have a good one. Peace out.